I told you I was coming back. So, you know how we talked about letting it all crumble? And then we talked about when you let it fall and let it break, you then pick up the pieces to really see yourself. Okay. So, today I want to talk to you about ink. Go with me for a minute. So, I converted to fountain pens a little while ago, maybe 5 or so years ago. It's so much easier than having to like go buy a new gel pen. That's a separate video or a separate conversation for later. But I really love these like Lamy Safaris. They're super fun. Also not the point, but the pens that I use. And I had this huge bottle of like 50 milliliters of ink. I think this is like 3 years. And I write a lot. I filled up a lot of journals with that ink. And I was getting to the end of it. And I was like, ugh, I don't want to rebuy ink. I still have so many to get through. I have this really lovely brown that I've used with this pen. And so I was thinking about refilling it because I still have some. But then I pulled out this other ink. I've had this for 3 years. I've been working on this for 3 years. I've had this maybe 2. This bottle, I think I got this back 12, 13 years ago. It's such an old bottle, right? Still beautiful ink. And I just didn't, I was like, I really like the color. It comes out as this really kind of like smoky gray purple. It's just gorgeous. Love the color. But I don't know if it's good for like writing. It's more like a fun, like artsy ink. I don't know if it's like a day-to-day thing. It's the color I want. It's the color I have, but it's the color I'm unwilling to use. Hold that thought. And earlier today, I'm trying to feed my dog, Duchess, and she mirrors me so much. I'm trying to get her to eat her food. She just has this like really delicious, I mean, I haven't eaten it, so I can't say it's delicious, but delicious based off the fact that she likes it. She has this really delicious food in her bowl and a full bowl of like cold water. Come outside, it's hot outside. The perfect thing to refresh yourself. It's the thing that you need. It's the thing that you have. It's the thing that she likes. And I couldn't, like leading a horse to water, I couldn't get her to drink it. I couldn't get her to drink her water. I couldn't get her to eat her food. And then I looked in the fridge and saw all this food and was thinking about how like the day before I was like, oh God, I'm so hungry, but I have nothing to eat. Oh God, I need to get new ink, but I have 2 whole bottles filled with it. Duchess looking at me like, oh my God, I want something else, but there's like a full bowl of food and a full bowl of water. And this is kind of, do you see where I'm kind of going with this? Okay, cool. Sometimes the very things we think when we let it crumble and we see ourselves, we may still be convincing ourselves that there is something outside of us, something outside of our reach, something external that's going to validate us, something, some gift that's going to come in that's going to like completely change everything, some person who's going to see us and be like, you're a star, baby, right? Like we're waiting for all this external validation, perhaps on an institutional level. I can have that conversation separately with you, but we're waiting on this thing outside of us to give us the blueprint or give us the pat on the back or tell us we're headed in the right direction or point out that we're really special or like feed us or nourish us in some type of way, right? And as I'm saying this, Duchess is acting a fool in the corner. Act a fool, girl. Act a fool. But we're doing all this stuff, like looking for all this stuff, even though we have what we need, we have what we want, we have what we like, but we still don't want to use it. And as I was watching Duchess like deny herself the thing that she needs to nourish herself, food and water, food that she likes, crisp, clear, cold, refreshing water, as I'm watching her deny herself the things that she needs, the thing that she has, the thing that she likes, I'm reminding myself of the exact same way that I do the same thing. So I'm a rest coach, and I help people rest. I call myself the Radical Joy Coach because rest is a vehicle to your joy, and it's a really lovely entry point that teaches us the skill of being present, of communicating what we need, all these yummy, juicy things, right, that make life worth living. And yet this year, in a very humbling but practical way, I've had to examine how I haven't practiced what I preach. And it's been hilarious with Duchess, with the ink, of seeing this theme again, and I'm sure you relate. I know you relate, that's why you're still watching. Of, oh my God, the thing I have, the thing I like, the thing I want. It's literally, I've had this for 13 years. I remember being in the store, seeing this, not even having fountain pens yet, just being like, I have to have this color. It's just so gorgeous. It's rich. It's beautiful. It reminds me of that, I mean, perfectly, the shadow of the moon. Like, it reminds me of that, like, dusk, like, just gorgeous color. Had to have it. But then I forgot about it. But then I was like, I'm afraid to use it. What talents, what gifts, what words, what art, what creativity, what music, what things are laying up, locked up in you that you are not accessing, using, showcasing, giving to the world? Because, like, even though you like it, even though you have it, even though it feeds you or nourishes you in some type of way, that you don't want to put out there because for whatever reason. And the reason may be a valid reason, but is still also an invalid excuse. So what is it that you are doing or not doing, even though you love it? And it doesn't have to be done on a grand scale, right? Like, for the longest time, I really loved acting when as you can tell, I was a musical theater child. Well, not a musical theater child, but I was a theater kid. I really, really loved it in high school. And then I like kind of just stopped because I got rejected from one dinner theater. That's a separate story. I got rejected from like one dinner theater audition. And I was just kind of like, I'm never doing that again. Because it was so like, the rejection I took so personally. But I loved it. And it was so fun. So like, do I need to be the next Marvel movie? Girl, if Disney wants to cut me a check, amen. Yes. But more than likely, could I just do a fun, like, local production? Could I audition for a fun local production? Maybe get like a little part here or there. Wouldn't that be great? It doesn't have to be this difficult thing. And life is so short and filled with so many regrets of things that, like, we didn't try at a time that we were able to do it, but maybe mentally we were really scared, or we were just kind of like, oh, there's nothing in the fridge. But there is. So here's another example of the same thing. I don't know why it is, every August, July, August, September, usually right before work picks up and gets really busy again, I really love cooking. Like, Duchess, I really love cooking. Love cooking. And so, but there's something about it in the summertime where it requires me to be more creative in a way than I wouldn't have when I cook, when I gotta go. I've got things to do, which feels more like meal prep, right? When you look in a fridge and there are items in there, but it's not like the easy thing that you just want to pick, out and just like heat up real quick. But it requires some time, it requires some intention, it requires some creativity. It can be really easy to be like, oh God, I don't want to do that. And I think maybe that is the barrier, right? Like letting things fall apart, maybe from chronic people pleasing, from living a life that's really not congruent with who you are, seeing your part in this, and then also this piece of like having the thing that you want internally. It's not an external thing that will be granted to you. It's something that you have to nurture and nourish on your, like, yourself. That's agency, baby. That's reminding yourself that you have agency, that you have the ability to turn this thing around, that you have this ability to rise up from the ashes, that you have this ability to change it. Now, today, start over. But sometimes we want that instant fix. Duchess didn't want to eat the food in her bowl that is more nourishing and nurturing because she was looking for a treat. I didn't want to cook the food that was in the fridge because I was like, oh God, ADHD. But also because I was like, oh my God, the inertia of like, okay, I have to come up with something. And but then it's so much more rewarding when you finally sit down to eat something that you took that time and intention and creativity to create and make and nourish, not just yourself, but perhaps other people too. So when you have the, again, you have the thing you like, you have the thing you need, you have the thing you want, remind yourself that you also have the agency to use it. Go use it. Oftentimes, when I have in the past 4 years, when people come to me talking about, I need to get more rest, I want more rest, how do I get more rest? You know, it's not a, I'm going to wave my wand and more. We have to get into the foundation of this house and understand what's down there, right? And oftentimes what I found with clients is that they're not actually living the life that they want. They're not living life the way they want to. And again, there are big factors: systemic oppression, having to pay these bills, right? And then there are little factors. And in those little factors, we have a lot more agency and control than we think we do. What do you want to do? And more than likely, is it something you're already, one, good at, that you like and enjoy doing? I noticed I've been avoiding YouTube for maybe as many years as I've had this ink, to be quite honest. I remember writing and acting in a little short web series that I created and I shot with friends when I lived in Austin. And then my friend was like, here's the video files. And I was like, And I didn't edit them and I didn't post them because I was just so nervous about like, oh my God, someone's going to say something mean to me about my body or my face. And I'm sure, you know, whatever. But are you really going to let that stop you? Even though that's something that you enjoy doing and people respond to it. And then last year, I've been having this weird thing going on with my voice. Not like, really since like high school, this fear of it. I would sing in church, and then one day my mom was like playing a recording from church where I was singing, and I like couldn't hear myself. I was like, oh no, turn it off, turn it off. I almost broke the CD, like I just couldn't. And I was like, I just want to be in a choir. I don't want to do solos or anything like that. So in my first year of college, I joined a choir, and I loved just blending with everybody else. And then at the end of that semester, I think it was, or maybe the end of the year, it was the end of the semester. They were like, BT Dubs, when we come back, we have earmarked solos for you. We've been listening to you, so like get ready. When I tell you I didn't go back, even though I love singing, even though it's so soothing for me, there was just like this thing around my voice. And a consistent note that I've gotten from strangers, from clients, from friends, is how soothing, not just my singing voice is, but how soothing my voice is. And so like media, podcasting, stuff like that, I've been like tiptoeing around and dancing around, even though I enjoy it, even though I love it, even though I have it, I like it, and I want it. I've been playing this game with my own agency around it because of myriad of excuses. The fear of being perceived, the fear of being perceived differently than how I actually feel like I am, the fear of an expectation of what I'm supposed to be like, all these things that don't ultimately like really matter. But we do that. We do that a lot. I do that. And what changed in the past year of realizing I have what I want, I have what I like, I have what I need, I have this thing that makes me feel good and nurtured. It's twofold. Recognizing your agency, right? And then also recognizing the power of self-validation and self-affirmation. And this could be a separate, because I don't want to go too long, this could be separate videos. I have really struggled with the need for validation on an institutional level. I need people who are smarter than me, things that are bigger than me to validate me. I've needed that since I was a small child. Like, if you're the adult and you tell me I'm a good girl, I'm doing the right thing, I'm on the right path. But what happens when you don't have that anymore? What happens when those voices aren't there and you're left with your own? And you don't know how to validate or affirm yourself, or you're not on a prescriptive path anymore, and you are just out in the wilderness blazing your own trail. You have to get used to affirming yourself, validating yourself, hearing yourself. Rest has been a huge vehicle for me to be able to practice that, and I had to lean back into that because I hadn't really been consistent with it in 2024. I feel like I got a hit of it in 2023, but like I really got lost in the sauce in 2024. So getting back into it has been really beautiful, but all that to say, like the sink, like the food in the fridge, like the food in Duchess's bowl, when you let it fall apart and you let it break and you pick up those pieces and see yourself, really see yourself in the reflection, you have to then remind yourself, if there is something in you, if you've been living a life, living a lie, or living a constraint, there is something in you that wants to be expressed, and you do have the power to express it. There's something in you that wants to be witnessed, and you do have the power to bring that out. You have so much more agency than you think you do, love. And I really, as Duchess is furiously eating her paws now, because she should have drank her water earlier. I'm gonna take her outside. You have so much to give and so much to offer, and not even in terms of helping others or healing others, which is important, but also helping and healing yourself primarily. We can't fix our outer world if we are unwilling to even engage in our inner world. Okay. Anyways, I hope this helps you. I'm really making these, like, I hope they help other people, but low key, it's healing something in me too. But I hope this helps you, and I will be around to talk to you tomorrow. Look forward to healing together, resting together, growing together, and enjoying this blue marble with you as well. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.